Because like for me, it's like just because you famous, that doesn't mean I'm gonna automatically respect you. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't like you have to somewhat relate to me in a way to where I can respect the content that you put, I can respect the message. So it's like you could be entertaining all you want, but if you're not dropping jewels like we do in QFM, if you're not dropping jewels, then I don't really see the point on really me watching you. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to QFM Podcast. We got your man Gift here, and we got
Kenny J. What's good? What's good?
So what's up, guys? We're here to talk about a crazy event that happened. I would say, what was it?
Maybe like 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay.
We went to DreamCon, guys. DreamCon. You see the shirt? You know, I had my money on Duke Dennis, so my team ended up winning.
They ended up winning though.
It was a blowout. Not really a blowout, but
yeah,
you know,
Mark.
They did good.
He did. I don't know.
I mean, he did his thing. Like Mark did his thing. Like I feel like Duke's team had a strong beginning in the first quarter, and then Mark's team, they kind of came back before halftime. But overall, Duke's team, they just had like people stacked on there, so
right,
no competition.
So for me, right, because like I've heard of DreamCon, I'm not a big anime type person, but you are, right? This was his idea. He wanted to go. So what made you go into DreamCon?
Well, I've been trying to go to DreamCon for about 2 or 3-ish years now. And it's always been like some kind of issue or hiccup that came to not going. One was either like not being able to get the tickets, or some financial problems came up to where like money was just starting to build up, and it just became too expensive. But I think like this year I was just like, you know what? I'm going to commit and actually go to DreamCon no matter what happens.
Right.
And then we ended up going. We ended up meeting some very cool people, got a bunch of experience, met some people that we've been watching for quite some time now. So overall, it was just a great experience that we had at DreamCon. Me personally. What about you?
Right. It was a different thing for me, just because I'm not really big fan of anime. This is somebody that don't really watch anime. I had little taste here and there, but me myself, I don't watch it. Nor can I relate people that do watch it because they name characters. I'm like, I don't know what it was.
I mean, we got a little bit. Like we gave you like a little bit.
It's like speaking a different language. Like they were like, "You watch anime?" I'm like, no.
Like,
no.
Just
and
a
there's
little
a lot of girls that was
bit.
like, "Dang, I'm not getting nothing, boy. I couldn't really grasp the fact that this is the world that everybody lives in that, in that kind of reality." So it was like crazy because you see a lot of different people to where, like they're wearing their costumes and things like that. They were really into
a lot of people were doing cosplay.
Really, really into it. I just wore
really big
my QFM shirt, right? Everybody's wearing all types of stuff, right? And,
they went all out. And you know what's crazy though? Like some of those people that have those cosplay, they're paying at least like $200, $300 for that costume.
Right, just for the costume itself, right? So it was like a big thing for me. Like, it was a little bit uncomfortable because I don't watch it, right? So, but it was kind of enlightening to where you have all these different types of people and things like that. So what did you like about DreamCon?
I like that you had a lot of people from different avenues who came together and was just themselves. Like, I think growing up, I guess like people who are either grew up in the 90s or early 2000s can relate to this. Anime wasn't like a big thing growing up. I feel like people watched it, but like they kept it on the down low. Or they were like in the closet when it came to like watching anime. I think like around 2015, 2016, it became popular because all the famous people were watching it. So just because that, or like the rappers started watching it, they think like, oh, okay, I'm gonna watch it because, celebs are watching it, like Lil Uzi or Megan Thee Stallion. They really like put it into their actual craft, which made it cool, quote unquote.
Right. And that's cool too, because like, I think for me, like I said, it was more enlightening, just because like, there's a whole different world out there, right?
Yeah.
It's not the stereotypical, because, coming from the opposite point of view, a lot of some of the dudes that watch anime when I was a kid, they were like, it was either the girls and stuff like that. So I thought that people were watching anime because of the girls that were on the show. It was never because of the storyline and stuff like that, right?
Nah.
And then when I grew up a little bit more, and then that's when anime became a little bit more, I would say, like open to the public in a sense. That's when I started to look at like My Hero Academia or like, Bleach or One Piece. Like I know the names of these shows, but I never intentionally watched it. So with that, I was like,
and why do you think that is?
I mean, just how people, like how it was brought up. I mean, you got people to where they're perverts and they watch a show to where they only like them because of a female character. Like I used to see people to where they have an anime girl and literally like the anime girl got like big boobs and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm like, well, y'all weird. Like, why y'all watching that?
And see, that's like the exact reason,
Right.
like why people were kind of in the closet about watching anime. I feel like that's a component. Like you're definitely right about that. But I think on top of that, it was just kind of lame or geeky to watch anime.
Right.
But
go ahead.
well, I was gonna say like I would argue that like a lot of shows that some people will watch, it has inspiration from anime, or even like movies that some people would watch growing up. Like what would be a good example? The Boondocks. Like there's a lot of symbolism when it came to anime and style when the Boondocks came out, but every black person was watching the Boondocks around the time.
Because it was relatable, for sure. I mean, but like I said, it wasn't, of course they showed that, but it was relatable, right? And there was a point to where, they were talking about, like, hey, they talked about just what black people thought in general, what we thought about certain races or certain ideas and the types of black people. So I don't think people, of course, I have a little bit of an anime type concept.
Yeah.
But at the same time is like, but that wasn't the concept. You see what I'm saying? It was a component, but it wasn't a full concept. You get what I mean? So it's like, is it Boondocks an anime? No, right?
No, it's not anime. It's like,
so
I would say,
yeah.
Personally, I would say it's like a cartoon, like an adult cartoon.
Right.
But it has some characteristics to anime.
Like the animation probably, but not, I would say like, not in the sense of like, like how it is and stuff like that. Like there is a component, but it's not fully, it's not like that. That's not the full component on why that was there. But when I'm saying I grew up now, I used to, who's better, Goku or Vegeta? And I'm like, okay. Like these are like good dudes talking about this. So I'm like, oh shoot, okay. Right? So it's like I was starting to be a little bit enlightened a little bit more, but it just never really piqued my interest. You see what I'm saying? So it was like, as growing up now, and it never really piqued my interest. The only one I really watched was Cowboy Bebop. I like that a lot more. And I was introduced to that by somebody. So it was, pretty good for the most part. But I just think that overall with DreamCon, it did bring a little bit more of an enlightening point of view to where I'm like, dang, like a lot of people are here for this. Like, you would never think that.
And I think originally that's what DreamCon kind of like stood out for 5-6 years ago. But I think as it got bigger and more like celebrities and people started to like tune into it, it started to branch out into different avenues. Like they had sections where you had people who did businesses and they like put people on to, really shine out their either business or things that they did in the community. I think some politicians were there too. Streamers, gamers. And it's not like just anime. Like I think that's the origination of it, but it branched out to becoming more than that. And on top of that, it was Black owned, and it grew at like such a fast pace to where it's like on the come up.
Right.
From like conventions like Comic-Con, I think it's called MoCon, something like that. Yeah, and then correct me if I'm wrong. I know y'all gonna like roast me in chat, but I think X9 or something. XO, yeah.
I mean, so you know, what do you think? I mean, it was definitely a good experience for sure. Like even for me, like as an outsider.
Yeah.
What were some of the cons that you didn't like about DreamCon?
I think just getting in there. So the first day they had like people lined up all the way from the back. Like we had to loop around the building just to get to the first line and get in, you know?
Right. And then they switched lines because remember, right? There was a whole line and we was about to be in there. And then they said, nah, you're going up here now.
Yeah. So like I think that was the exit. Like people were lined up for the exit.
Yeah. Right. Like I'm like, where we going? And then it was like about to be a tug of war after that, right? And then what else? My bad.
I think that was just like the most annoying thing was just trying to go to the place where we can find our tickets, you know. And I think that's accountability on us because, you know, we could have gotten there earlier to get in line and been at DreamCon like for a little bit longer than, you know, we could have been. But what would be another one? I would say, I would say like, honestly, that's the only thing that kind of gave me a headache with was just to get the tickets. Right. And then on top of that, I feel like we could have stayed longer, but we were also in a different city. So we wanted to explore what Houston had to offer.
Right. And that was where me and you kind of differ because if you could stay there for those how many days was it? 3?
3 days, yeah.
3 days. You would have stayed those 3 days.
Hell yeah, I would stay for 3 days.
But for me, it's like, you know, I would say pretty much like, to me, I feel like DreamCon at that was more, and this is a con, by the way, it was more for the streamers. It was more to meet famous people than to connect with the community in general. And so it was like, you know, because like everybody, you know, you see people with their camera, it was kind of like dehumanizing. Like I can't explain it, but like everybody got their cameras like this. Like everybody, that's all you see. And then you got a big dude you got a big dude, then you got another dude with a camera, then you look at the dude's phone, all you see is all these goddamn words is coming down. I'm like, bro, I'm just saying what's up to you. Like I can't say what's up. I can't have a conversation. You know,
I think that's like another con. Like I'm glad you brought that up too, because especially now we're in the streaming area, and DreamCon is also an opportunity for people to network and connect with other people. But I think the dark side or the con to that is that people are always trying to get a leg up to get to where they want to be.
Right.
So sometimes it might just be fake. Oh yeah, what's up, man? You know, say what's up to my camera. Can I do like a quick interview or picture? But sometimes the intentions are not always good. Like they might just either use you or your platform just to get to another level, which I think is kind of sad though, because DreamCon was supposed to bring these people together so that they can connect. But I think like people can take advantage of that and make sure that they are getting what they want at the end.
Right. Because like, you know, because mind you, there was a lot of famous streamers, a lot of people there, a lot.
Yeah.
Young Don the Sauce God, Case and that, you know, like Patrick Cloud, I had a picture with him.
Yeah. That was dope.
There was a lot of different people that was kind of there. And I think that for me, like, I always want to come with the perspective of, if I'm a big fan of you, I'm going to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't know you, like the dude we was with, Christian, we met him in one of the lines, right? And he came
shout
by
out
himself.
Christian, man.
Shout out
That's
Christian.
the boy.
He was like, you know, like, he was like, oh, who's this? Who's this? He was like, oh my God. I was like, who is this person? I don't know. Because all you see is a camera and a big security dude, and then you got all these dudes that is kind of like patched up or whatever like that. So it was like kind of patched up full of camera equipment and stuff like that. So it was just a little bit, you know, weird. Like, it's like, don't talk to me, right? And you got a small streamer saying that, and they're trying to get with a bigger streamer.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things. I'm like, bro, I'm just saying what's up. I can't.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
What's
just
up,
kind of
dude?
weird. And I think like, and no disrespect to anybody, but sometimes the ego is so high to where they think that they're really big based on their platform. But honestly, when you get there, there's like other people that are either more famous than you are, or they just see you as, oh yeah, you're the guy that streams, or oh yeah, you be doing like gaming videos with like 2K and whatever.
Right,
But it's
right.
like people know of you, but they're not like on the level of like household fame, like Taylor Swift or freaking Drake, you know, or Kendrick Lamar. Like people are not coming in to swarm you and say like, "What's up?" You know. And I think that like people don't understand that like we notice who you are, but you're not at that level. You know, it's cool that you do these things. You know, it's nice to see you, but like I think that you got to understand that like you're not as famous as what
And
you think you
famous
are.
is subjective.
Yeah.
Popularity is subjective, right? So it's like even when we was in Texas and Houston, just the Houston area in general, like you may meet somebody that you may know and I may not know.
Yeah.
And then outside of the Airbnb that we were at, I met somebody that I'm not gonna say I idolize, but I look up with his content and you didn't even know who that was.
Yeah, no.
So it's like, it's so crazy because like with some people, I'm not really sure on what their content is. I'm not gonna really say nothing, but if it's somebody that I really, like and genuinely care about their content, it's gonna be genuine as well.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, it's gonna be really genuine. You get what I mean? So,
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like when
Definitely.
you like their content, I'm gonna come, hey yo, I like your content and stuff like that. Shout out to Lord Heck, like he didn't have to do that, but he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
So,
that connection that you had outside of the apartment where that event was happening, that was the same feeling I got when I met Young Don the Sauce God or 340 Ori. Like
did
these
you
are
really
guys.
meet him or would you
No.
talk to him?
I was kind of scared. I was kind of. I mean, I was starstruck because you gotta understand.
He was tall too. He was like
he was
6'7".
tall,
I was
bro.
like,
He's tall. But you gotta understand, like this is a guy that I've been watching his videos since junior year of high school. Like I even remember finding out who this guy was. It was after a chemistry exam that I just finished, and for some people, like you can either like leave or you can come back into like homeroom and chill. So I ended up doing that because I had like practice right after. So I didn't think there was like no point to go home after the fact. But I was going on YouTube and I got recommended one of these videos, and it was one of Young Don's videos. I don't know which one it was exactly, but his videos are so relatable to the point where, and he was like an animator too. Like I think only at the time you got like Swoozy, Corey Kenshin, and then like all those other like big black names for like RDC and stuff.
Right.
But so I think he was kind of on the come up, but he had like a little bit of fame as well.
No, he was getting up there.
Yeah. So his animations and his story time, they were funny, they were relatable. He was Jamaican, so it's just like on top of these things, I couldn't like relate to him on some level. So seeing him in person, it was just kind of like, oh shit, like that's him, you know? But yeah, that's kind of like one of the things I regret was because I could have just like walked up to him, just like said, what's up?
He didn't want to look too much of a groupie. And I get that. I was like, bro, he's right here.
I was like, I know. It was just like, damn, I don't know. I kind of like wussed out because I was just too much in my head. But I totally agree with you. Like, if you really rock with somebody, you can go up there and talk to them. Sometimes we forget that, like, famous people are just normal people. You know, when the cameras turn off, when, like, the streams and, like, the game is over, like, they still come home and, you know, sleep, they eat. They might just like they might like do things that are out of the ordinary, but at the end of the day, they still bleed the same way you do.
Right, you know? Right. And that was the thing as well. Like, and you know, and I think that for me is like I wasn't trying to be too much because like for me it's like just because you're famous, that doesn't mean I'm gonna automatically respect you. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't like you have to somewhat relate to me in a way to where I can respect the content that you put, I can respect the message. So it's like, you could be entertaining all you want, but if you're not dropping jewels like we do in QFM, if you're not dropping jewels, then I don't really see the point on really me watching you.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Kenny J. I'm one half of the QFM podcast. If you made it this far to the video, I just wanted to say welcome. While you're here, you might as well go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and then on top of that, just go ahead and share it to a friend, family member, like grandmother or whatever. We want to get this channel to grow, and we have goals. So if you want to go ahead and support us with the channel, you might as well just help us out. It'll definitely go a long way. All right, y'all. Now back to the video.
Or listening to you or looking at your content. You see what I'm saying? And it's like the entertainment can be involved, but I like to hear stories. I like to know more about whatever's going on, about you, right? And that was cool about Young Dong Decides God. He talked about himself, a story. Yeah. This is about his life. And that could be interesting, but that could also have a lesson behind it. Yeah. I like listening to those a lot more. Right, I like listening to those to where I plug in. I'm not watching no stream for like 4 hours. I'm not doing that. I'd rather you have a video. I plug it into my car, listen to the video, and I might be driving 45 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, or even walking while listening to that video. I like that a lot more. True. So it was like that. I just think the con overall was a fact of I think people wasn't trying to meet new people. It's just that overall. People were trying to meet famous people. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And as a result, and connect with them to boost their activity. Right. And so that was pretty much what it was for me. But the one way I substituted that was like really going out to clubs and exploring Houston in general. That was cool. Which was awesome as well. So so how do you feel about the club life in Houston, man? I liked how our apartment that we stayed at, it was walking distance from all the clubs. It was Midtown. It was very different compared to Raleigh because it was unique, You can tell that they all had their own different flavor and what it brought to it. But it was like a bar. It had like shoes in there for like collectibles. Sneaks. What was it? Sneaks. Yeah. Fire. It was so different because what kind of lounge are you going to get where it has like all these rare collectible shoes and you can get a drink and also chill and listen to music? That's different. Right. On top of that, right next to it was a bar called Love, like LOV and then the number 3. Love 3. And it brought kind of old school songs and the crowd was kind of middle aged, but it was still a nice little vibe to it. You can talk and interact with people and it's not on some weird type of junk, Right. And the crazy thing is that the clubs were a lot more, they were a lot more like the music that they were playing was amazing. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I never once, there was a club that we went to our last night at Houston called Bald Cat or Bald Kitty. Bald Kitty. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So the music that they was playing was they was playing a lot of EDM, a lot of instrumentals. I'm like, yo, this is fire, bro. What? But the crazy thing about the clubs is that they had hookah. All the clubs you went to, straight hookah. That's all you saw. So, which was wild. Shout out Bald Kitty. I saw Leon Thomas there. He was right in front of me. I had the opportunity to, because he was going to do a panel at DreamCon, and we missed his slot panel, but it came full circle because he was actually there, just random, and I was able to get a better look at him. Up or something? No, yes. Well, actually, I did, but I didn't get it on camera, but. We kind of locked eyes and I was just yo, what's up? He said locked eyes. He said locked eyes, bro. No. But it was just on some calm shit. Yeah. So I was just hey, Leon, what's up, man? And then we just dapped up. So it was a 2-second. One of our friends, she was she got mad because she was man, what the heck? Yeah. How you go to all the concerts and don't meet him? Yeah. You gotta meet him sometime. You know what I mean? Yeah. And one of my friends got well, she was, I wouldn't say starstruck. She was just very curious because whenever a famous person comes to mind or that they know, they want to know, ask so many questions yo, what was it like? How did they do? Right. How did they act in person? And it was just I didn't really have a time to do that because a lot of stuff was going on. So I didn't want to bombard them with all this starstruck information. You kind of just
play it cool and just say, hey, what's
right,
up, man?
play it cool. Play it cool. Like, play it cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because the thing is, though, is that, like, for me, just be cordial. You know what I mean? That's it.
exactly.
Like, with me, when I met P&B Rock in New York, I wasn't like...
You met P&B, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was about to... Rest in peace.
Yeah, RP.
Like, I'm not trying to be that person. So, like, we're like, literally at the club or whatever like that, right? And... Or no, it was at a sneaker store. And I forgot what it's called. I forgot what the sneaker store was called. And it was like, I saw him, I said, hey, bro, I like that song, Beast Mode, with you, A Boogie, and what's his name? NBA Youngboy. And he was like, okay, I appreciate that. You know, and he was like, and he saw me and my brother. He was like, twins, twins, twins. He kept saying that. He was like, twins, 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 right? I kept it cool. I was like, all right. I'm 18. But some old dude, he was like, oh my God, baby rock. I'm like, this is me, I'm like 18. I'm like, bro, relax. You see what I'm saying? You making it hot. Like, he's like, yo, PB Rock, yo, you're my man. I'm like, bro, shut up. So so like when we saw all these different people, for me it's hard for me to be starstruck because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta be, you know, like, it's not that deep. You know what I mean?
It's not. It's really not.
And for, you know, I don't want to be like a groupie, like a girl that, hey, how you doing? Like, no. Hey, bro, how you doing, bro? I fuck with your song. That's it. You got Instagram? Cool.
Yeah. Because I did the same thing when I saw 340 Ori again. So I kind of just like went up to him and just like confirmed it was him. So I just kind of like talked about how like, yo, I've been like listening to your music for quite some time now, and it's kind of fire. Keep doing your thing.
Right.
And he just said like, appreciate it, man. We dabbed each other up, and you know, just called it a day.
Right. And that's really
that's pretty much all it takes. Yeah. You don't always have to like ask for a picture or like, you know, do the most just to like get anything out from them. Sometimes it's just like, you know, you gotta enjoy the moment or just like meet up with people just to say like, what's up? You know, like it's not always about like getting something out of that person because they're famous, you know.
Right. Hey, bro, I like your junk, whatever. Keep it cool, keep it moving, dap them up, and that's it.
Yeah,
I'm not doing
simple.
I'm not doing all that type of stuff whatsoever. You get what I mean? So, but like DreamCon was definitely amazing. Like in the sense of like just trying to get to know people, meeting new people, right? And then Houston in general, like there was this thing called a burger spot.
So good.
Oh my God. We got that in the vlog too.
It was
that
so
junk
good.
is fire. I want to go
Oh
back.
yeah, vlog coming out soon.
Right. Facts. So it was pretty good. It was definitely good. And the people, how did you feel about people in Houston?
That's a hard one. Cause like, I feel like the people in Houston, they were unique. You know what I mean? Like compared to people in Raleigh or Charlotte, you got the people that are bougie, you know, like you gotta come at them correct or they're not gonna talk to you at all, like unless you have something. But like, I think like people in Houston is genuine, you know, like you meet them and like they either doing something where they like music, entertainment, or they're just trying to, you know, make it. They respect the hustle. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that are trying to like sell you stuff, which was kind of annoying.
At the mall, right?
At the mall, yes. I couldn't even go like 10 feet without somebody trying to sell me something.
He was like, come here.
You know what I mean? It was annoying.
He was like, you smell bad. Come here. I got you.
He was like, hey, you dropped something.
Bro, and I looked too. I was like,
that dude got us. I'm not gonna lie, like he actually got us there. But yeah.
And the cologne is not even, how do you feel about the cologne?
I like the cologne.
It was all right. Not what I was trying to go for. But yeah.
Hey, but he got $40 from us.
Right.
At least it
was, right. He's like, you dropped some. I'm like, oh shoot. But like the dude, but respectfully, like just, you know, the dudes were mad respectful. Like mad, and you don't really see that a lot in Raleigh. You know what I mean? You don't really see that a lot. Like people, they be mean mugging you. And also the environments was not bad. Like if you talk to them, they're gonna respond back to you.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? But the girls, like the dudes were cool, but the girls were like, I was like, hey, I like your grills. It's an aesthetic. I know that. I'm just saying I like your grills. Like, sweetheart, relax. And And then she was like talking, I said, hey, what's your name or whatever? And it took a long time. I said, look, I'm just trying to connect with
like,
people.
you got a nice style. I know.
Right. I'm just trying to connect with people.
Just say thanks.
That's it. Like, I could go if you want.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Like, hey, what's your name? I have a boyfriend. I'm like, okay, I wasn't really going that
cool.
route.
All right. You see what I'm saying? So that was the setting it was, because it was a little bit more bougie in that sense, right? Because you got all these clubs, and someone literally said, like, Houston is literally entrepreneurship city. So it's like you got all these different clubs. Like, a lot of the clubs we went to were open. They were like literally like they just opened.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
and the dress code wasn't too strict because when we went to that, it was called Ball Kitty, right? Yeah, because they didn't really have like a dress code. You know, you could wear cargo pants. I think some dude came in with joggers, and like everybody was just vibing. You know,
right, yeah,
crazy.
It was a good vibe for sure.
But here in Raleigh, like, God forbid you wear some like cargo pants. You know,
right. Like the clubs in Raleigh and definitely in definitely Raleigh versus like Houston were completely different. So it was like you can see how like people, they don't really care about, as you said, dress code too much, right? And it's just, I think that was really a big difference as well. And plus, like, a lot of clubs, they got hookah. Almost every club you went to, hookah. That's all you saw. That's literally all you saw. I was kind of tempted. I was tempted. I was like, you know what? Nah, man, it might be like $100 for a hookah. $100 for a hookah. Yeah. But, you know, like going back to DreamCon, do you have anything that, I guess, like, anything that was pointed out? Like, what was something that you vividly remembered about DreamCon?
I want to say the costumes were unique because they, not only were they accurate, but others were like, yes, it's not all the way close to what the character is wearing, but you can tell like they put effort behind it. Or if like at least they were on a budget. So they did what they could to put something together in order to you know, embody that character.
Right.
And I respect that because it's like, one, it takes a lot to go out there and like wear cosplay to like a convention.
Right.
Well, I would say like a convention is more like leeway, but even just going out in public and, you know, dressing up like that takes a lot of guts. Right, so I respect it.
But it's like, it's not really taking guts because everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, sometimes, and maybe this is just like me personally, what I noticed, but sometimes the costume might be so far out there to where people are gonna be like, oh, like, why is he wearing that? Like on a normal day. But like when you're on a convention, you're probably gonna get some leeway to it because everybody is wearing it or like doing something similar to that.
Right.
Like you would probably be an oddball if you're not doing that.
Right. And I was the oddball. I was the oddball for sure. But the thing that kind of, you know, was brought to my attention, and I kind of was thinking about it a little bit more, it was, we could be ourselves. Yeah. So we did an interview, and it was like one of those interviews. I forgot what his name was, but shout out to him. We're gonna put, you know, your Instagram on, and it was more of like, he said we could really be ourselves, and I was like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, well, like I don't know if this is a black thing or not, but it's like, it was like, you could go to an event to where you could be yourself, right? But like outside of the event, you don't say that you watch anime. You don't advertise that you watch anime. Like, is you doing this? Is this really your true self? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, it's like, you know, and I kind of try to relate to myself because there's things that I might like that people may not like. There's things that you may like that no one else may not like. Right? Yeah. So it was like, I was like, man, I love my Legos. Right? I'm thinking about it, I was like, man, I love my Legos. And I didn't care if people didn't like my Legos. Like, I didn't care.
This man was geeking out on the Lego table.
Right.
There was a table at DreamCon where like Legos.
That's the only thing I saw. I was like, yeah. Legos. My nerd side came to me, like, for real. But like, and mind you, the Legos wasn't good.
Dang. Oh, that's tough.
Because they had the Lego Commandos and
You know it's gonna go out public, right? Like
I know.
they're gonna see that.
I know, but like they had good Legos. But I was looking for the Star Wars ones, and they had the Commando ones, but the Commando ones doesn't really look too good.
Okay.
Everything else was good, but pretty much, but pretty much like that's how much of a geek I am in that aspect. So pretty much, I was like, because like mind you, people as kids they was afraid to watch and to tell people that they watch anime, right?
Yeah.
That's what you said. For me, when I first got Legos. Shoot, I was playing that shit outside. I was playing outside. Some of my friends would make fun of me. I'm like, who cares? I didn't care. You see what I'm saying? Because these are my Legos. This is, this is my world. So
I respect that.
So for when people to say that they could be themselves, I kind of feel a little bit different because why would you want to have to go somewhere for you to really be yourself? Isn't that a problem for you to where you have to, depending on wherever you go to, you have to go to a whole different state just to be yourself?
I think it's kind of like also an insecure thing because a lot of people care a lot what other people think. And it's like, these are people that don't benefit you in any regard. You know, I would say even like in grade school, you know, you got all the popular kids, like you want to at least be around them to be considered normal. So if something was out of the ordinary, then you would either be a lame or a geek or nerd. The thing that I respect about you is that you just don't care. Like you can literally be yourself and it's like, hey, this is me, take it or leave it. Whereas with me, struggle growing up, I even admit that like I wanted to be at least part of a group or like to some degree of being close to a group that I would consider my own or like or be friends. Because I didn't really have many friends growing up because I was just like that weird kid. But as I got older, you tend to not care as much because one, they're not like doing anything for you and you only get to live once. So you need to express your actual, true, authentic self because you're always going to have that like regret in the back of your head saying like, oh, I should have just like went ahead and did it and not care about what other people think because who knows where it would have went. And I think like I respect RDC about that because they were grinding for 4 years and just being themselves. And
Right.
And look at them now, like it paid off. Like 4 years in the making of just literally grinding, having 300 subscribers, not knowing like who or what they are. Nobody knew who they were. And as over time, they just like stay true to who they are. And they have like a whole convention where millions of people are coming. I wouldn't say millions, but like thousands of people are coming in. And like actually, you know, being themselves and getting inspirations of other content creators who are trying to do the exact same thing.
Right. And I think that, and like I said, I think that's good that they did that for people, for them to feel comfortable to be in a space to where they can be comfortable 100%. Like, I think that's just very, like, idolizing the fact that you literally did that. Right. And you know, and like I said, I'm a big fan of like listening to the stories. I watch their stories all the time. And so they talk about how in the beginning, you know, like figuring out what to do and stuff like that. So they put that out there.
Yeah.
Right. And that's great that they put that out there. Right. And I'm not, I'm not thinking of that question because of them, because they did what they were supposed to do. They made it cool. Right.
Exactly.
Well, they were one of the pioneers to make it cool.
Yeah.
It was more of like, I just think that sometimes it's like, when you have your own like world and like mindset, is like, maybe that's just me, but like I don't really care what other people think.
Yeah.
As for, I can understand how, you're in an environment to where it may be different, right? This is your only outlet. You see what I'm saying? To where you could really be yourself. So I could understand that as well. So that was the one interview that I kind of like kept in my head about, because I'm like, dang, they really here to be themselves. Maybe this is a little bit deep. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit deep.
But it's true. It's definitely true.
So it's like, and I would like to go to the next one. I'm a little bit more informed now. So pretty much like, like, do you have anything final things to say or?
Nah. I mean, this will go out to pretty much everyone. If you can get anything from this video, just know that be yourself. Just be true to who you are. I know it might sound corny or like this is like not what, the cool people might say, but it's like it's true. Like just be true to who you are and be true to yourself because you only have one life.
Right.
So if you're trying to live to appease other people and you're scared about what other people are going to think of you by like doing something else, screw them, Like
Right.
if they think of something bad of you for like doing that one thing that you want to do, then you don't need them to be in your life.
Right.
Like, and I admire Gifted for, being true to who he was since day one, whereas I had to figure out on day 30 or day 90, like after the fact.
Right.
So it sucks that it took longer for me to figure that out and like not care about what other people think. But if you could take anything from this video, just be true to who you are.
Right. And to go back off of you, it's not bad to find a community neither.
Yeah.
Right? It's not
True.
bad for you to find it. I think that, when you say those things, you wasn't trying to find, like, you wasn't, you were just trying to find something to belong to. And I think in this world, we're all trying to do that. It's just that some people realize that that shouldn't be it, then they're gone, or they just need to find people to where they genuinely respect them and care about them, right?
And just like cleaning out your circle. Like
Right.
sometimes it's just like those people who are around you that don't have your best interests at heart. So it's not fake to like level up yourself and like find those people who genuinely want you to do good. So sometimes you gotta like take out the trash in order to find, your treasure.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. I think that was a pretty good thing to say. But overall, that's our experiences with DreamCon. So we getting some videos, some interviews coming lined up as well with this one. So please subscribe. Also follow us on Instagram on QFM _ podcast. Okay.
Yeah, _ podcast.
So I had to put that.
Nah, you good, you good.
So pretty much, you guys have a great day, and we're gonna be uploading some more.
Yes, sir.
See you guys later, man.
We out here.